everyone, good afternoon. You tune into Market Fatafat right here on ET Now, your countdown of the stocks that you need to watch out for in trade today, the movers and shakers. I'm Mubina Kapasi, and today we're going to be joined by Manav Chopra of Indiabulls Ventures as well as Ashish Kyal of Wave Strategy Advisors along with Siddharth Bhamri. So good afternoon and thanks so much for joining in. A quick look at the market and well, we still are below the 10,900 mark. It's the third straight day that we are declining, but the mid-cap index has been able to recover very smartly. In fact, it's in the green, 0.2% higher. But let's kickstart the countdown then, and the very first stock we are flagging off is an ET exclusive. PNB Housing is the stock in focus. This after bulge bracket private equity investors are said to be in the race for a 22% stake in PNB Housing. In fact, we are expecting the deal to conclude as early as this week itself. It's a 3,500 crore rupee deal as per valuations, and GA as well as Varde are said to be the front runners to pick up this 22% stake. The stock price, however, is tanking 2.8% gone. Manav, let's talk about Kaveri Seeds. You have a sell stance here. Why is that?
So the prices have actually reached a very important support clusters and are trading below its long-term averages. The recent decline has also accompanied by above average volume, which clearly indicates that the medium-term trend has reversed, and we sense on the lower side the prices could test the levels of 470, which is our lower side targets. I sense any short-term rally, one should look to initiate fresh shorts, and overall the stock looks quite bearish at the current levels.
Okay, Kaveri Seeds today is tanking 5.5% and Manav too has a bearish stance. Ashish, let's talk about Bharti Infratel. Today it's one of the top losers and you're very circumspect on this one. Why is that?
Absolutely, Bharti Infratel showed a very sharp reversal after touching 335, and I think the short-term trend is negative. The stock can come towards the level of 97 where it probably retests the previous breakout zone and then bottom out there. Sell at PNB stock 332, expect to.
Alright, that's stock number 3, and the stock price is falling today, Bharti Infratel. Moving on, MGL is something we are flagging off. Remember, there was the news that my colleague Vivek Iyer spoke about, and that is with respect to withdrawal of gas supply at concessional rates for CNG. The proposed subsidy by direct cash transfer for domestic pipe gas is something that is being recommended. Now, Nomura is saying that the recommendation of no domestic gas to CNG is a negative. If CGDs are not provided lower priced domestic gas, they will need to use mainly imported LNG, and this is something that would increase costs. So MGL as well as IGL, both these stock prices are tanking. MGL, as you can see on your screens, is in fact hovering near the day's low, 5.2% gone. Manav, let's talk about Varun Beverages. Here you have a bullish stance. What is it that you are recommending over your observations on the way the stock has moved?
See, overall the stock has been on a very good uptrend, and recently the prices have corrected from its recent peak of 850 and has tested its important crucial support and long-term averages. On the 60-minute charts, there has been a good reversal from its important support, and 750 will act as an important support on the immediate basis. That is also a stop loss that one can initiate. We recommend a buy into this and expect a good pullback value of at least towards the levels of 810, which is our immediate target.
Alright, so you are seeing a 3% fall, but Manav is bullish. Let's talk about Amara Raja Batteries. Came out with its numbers yesterday, a 9% growth on the top line, and then we also did see margins, however, compressing to 14.9% versus 15.6%. However, what are brokerages making of the numbers? Well, not such a bad set. I mean, they are expecting a 13% revenue CAGR over FY19 to 21. However, they as well are of the belief that a price hike may be required to protect margins. So that's Amara Raja. Just about seeing slight gains today, 0.2% higher. Ashish, let's talk about Hero Moto. You know, two-wheelers in general have had a tough ride off late. You have a sell here. Why is that?
See, Hero MotoCorp has been seeing the selling pressure in today's fashion, and the overall auto space has been under pressure for many months. So I think the pullback which we saw from 2600 to 2950 was probably where we should have been on downside, taking prices back towards around 2700. So go short at CNB, keeping a stop loss of 2926 on upside and expecting a target of around 2699 on the downside.
Alright, so that's Hero MotoCorp, 1.6% gone today, and Ashish as well is recommending a sell. Let's then talk about Vodafone Idea, and again, you know, Manav, here too, tough times. In fact, since November or December, the stock has really just been on a one-way downward journey.
Absolutely. In fact, the stock has been in a consecutive series of towards the downside and has been in a good sharp downside momentum trend. So, even a short-term pullback rally is not sustained and is often been a dead cat bounce even at the current level, since the prices are consolidating and it's trading below its important crucial 20 DMA. I recommend that one can also initiate a sell at the current levels, and overall we expect the stock to observe a breakdown on the lower side. We expect lower targets of 26 to be achieved, and at the current levels also we would like to maintain a bearish stance in the stock.
Alright, another almost 4% in fact gone for Vodafone India, and now in fact it's up even the 30 rupee mark. Ever ready meantime in this circle is the stock of the day. Big news coming in over there. The stock price however has cooled off. It surged almost 5% in the early hours of trade, but subsequently quite a decline, witnessed 0.7% lower now. Now the reports as per ET reports suggest that US-based Energizer Holdings is eyeing a controlling stake in Ever Ready Industries, and the sale process is really gathering momentum. In fact, there was news of even rivalry between Energizer and Duracell for the controlling stake in the company. Energizer, remember, already owns the Ever Ready brand in US and China, and it's expected to face competition from rival Duracell, which in turn is owned by Berkshire Hathaway. So all of this news is keeping the stock price active today in trade. Okay. Alright, we'll do one thing. We'll just take a very short break right here on Market Fatafat, but do come right back. The countdown will continue. Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat. Let's just shift our focus to earnings, and we do have Suprajit Engineering that has delivered its Q3 numbers. I would say it is a bit of a mixed bag, because while top line growth has been quite steady, 11% higher, margins however has compressed. So let's bring on board Mr. Ajit Rai, the CMD of Suprajit Engineering. Mr. Rai, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on ET Now. Like I said, it's been a bit of a mixed bag. So let's talk about first the overall numbers. If you could just give us highlights of what went by in the third quarter briefly.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me on your channel. The 3 quarters that is ended in December has been actually pretty good, excepting that our Phoenix Lamp division didn't grow. Our domestic cable business, our export of cable business, our Sena division all have had a good double-digit growth. So overall we grew at about 12-13%, whereas as you rightly said, the EBITDA has grown by about 6%. The EBITDA margin, our guidance has been that we will have an EBITDA margin between 14 to 16%. We clocked 14.7%, whereas last year at the same time we had about 15.7%. So yes, about 10%, 100 basis point drop in the margins, but I think it's well within our guidance, and we expect that will be so as the year goes by. Overall, the 3 quarters have been good. I would say that this is despite the tough times we had in the domestic market in terms of the Indian automotive business in the last 3 months, not really growing in any one of those segments. So considering all that, I think we had a fairly decent set of numbers.
All right. Could you first up tell us about the commodity hedging strategy that you guys have been adopting? What was the impact witnessed in the third quarter of this?
The commodities have been fairly stable in terms of the pricing of all the commodities. I think the first half of the year and last year had the continuous increase in most of the commodities, whereas it has sort of now tapered off and is stable. So as far as the domestic front is concerned, most of the commodity increases we have been able to pass on to our customers, so it has not had any effect. Now there has been a trend reversal of some sort. Steel prices seem to be coming down, so we'll have to wait and see. So we are fairly well established, set up with the customers to sort of work both this increase and decrease in commodities prices.
Okay, let's talk about the greenfield expansion. What's the progress on that, and by when will it start contributing to your numbers, and how would it increase capacity?
Yeah, we have two greenfield plants coming up. One in Narsapura, both are in Bangalore, and the other one is at Doddaballapur. One is for one of our marquee two-wheeler customers in India, which will go into production during the first quarter of next year. Similarly, our Doddaballapur plant, which is exclusively for export of cables to European Union as well as to US, will start initial trialing and manufacturing during again the first quarter. But both the plants will get into full production by about December of this year. With that, our capacity will increase from the 250 million that we currently have to about 300 million. The overall investment of capex for these two projects and few other balancing infrastructural requirement is estimated at about 100 crores, and that will all be done by December.
Okay, your four-wheeler market share did expand very smartly to 35% from just 20% 5 years ago. But the market is tough right now. I mean, we have seen that play out in the monthly sale numbers that auto guys do put out. So how are you looking to essentially manage that? How are you looking to increase the number of clients?
Yeah, the automotive Indian business didn't have any growth, particularly last few months have been pretty tough actually. The overall for the first 9 months there's only about a 1% growth in the automotive part of the business domestically. But we have been lucky that a lot of our business is exports, whereas the export business, although the markets in both Europe and US in terms of the OEM growth is very low single digit, but we have been able to take new businesses from our competitors, so that has been a very strong market. We had 15 to 20% kind of a growth there. That's why you are seeing our market share in the automotive segment is slowly growing, which is mostly out of our exports from our Doddaballapur facilities.
Okay, so let's talk about now your global clients currently. Who are the top global clients, and again, how are you looking to tackle this global demand slump, and how do you plan to de-risk that part of the business?
Some of our big global customers are, Volkswagen, Renault, Nissan, BMW, etc. They are, you are right, they are not really growing that much, but what we are doing is that we are getting brand new businesses from them. It is just that, so far our business with these customers have been very small. That has now increased to, slowly increasing to a significant side. So it's basically that for the new platforms, we are getting the preferred sourcing strategies from our customers. So we are actually replacing their existing supplier, and hence this slowdown in the global market also does not affect us because we are actually taking away business from the competition. So we still continue to expect, in fact the next 2 years, we are expecting a significant growth in our automotive cable exports from India.
Okay, that's good to hear. So we wish you good luck with those plans as well as, of course, your greenfield capacity expansion. Thanks so much, Mr. Rai, for joining in and explaining your third quarter numbers to our viewers. All right, let's just very quickly go back to market fatafat. We've got lots of stocks we're going to try and squeeze in over the balance of the show. Siddharth, why are you flagging off Shriram Transport for our viewers?
Well, because of the volumes, Mubina, cash and futures volumes are way too high. Stock has not shown very huge move. Yes, it's slight negative, but we should not rule out that it might move towards its strong support of $1,000. And if and only if it moves below its $1,000 support, then you might think of a serious downside in the stock. Till then, just wait and watch.
Alright, moving on to JSW Steel, and Ashish, while today it's a big gainer and along with the rest of the steel stocks doing well, call it the curse of the Nifty, but this stock has certainly been on a downward spiral for the last couple of months.
Absolutely, the stock has continued to move lower. In fact, if you look at the chart, it has not even broken above the 21 days moving average, and it's now again approached towards that level which is acting as a resistance. So I think it's a sell like CMP. Any pullback should be short-lived, and we can expect it to move towards the level of around 258 on the downside with 280 as a stop.
Okay, so it's a sell on JSW Steel. Siddharth, what are your observations in Mindtree?
Well, Mindtree is correcting a bit today, but we are seeing some intraday bounce. Moving a few days back, we have seen that there was accumulation of longs, and then yesterday there was a sort of breakout from a narrow range. But today again, the stock is a bit soft. But the way build-up is happening, you should not consider this as a short build-up till the time 875 to 885 support is holding. So I would give more weightage to long build-up seen in couple of days.
Okay, so that's Mindtree for you. Let's talk about Can Fin Homes then. And Manav, you do have a view on Can Fin Homes. You have a bullish stance. What's the reason?
See, the prices have actually seen a very good breakout on the weekly charts, and the kind of reversal that we witnessed today with above average volumes, and such kind of volumes have actually happened after good 3.5 months near its oversold levels. I sense on the immediate basis there will be a lot of short covering that will be witnessed into the stock, and eventually we can see a good rally towards the levels of 285. Even at the current levels, the stock has an important support at 260 and can be bought at this.
Okay, 12.4% higher for Can Fin Homes today in trade. Let's also talk about Jet Airways then. It's an important update coming in over there. SEBI, it looks, has expressed reservations over granting exemption to Etihad Airways, and this is, remember, in connection with the open offer to minority shareholders. This is what reports are suggesting. The exemption for making an open offer was among the key conditions set by Etihad to offer a lifeline to Jet Airways, so not such good news. Okay, unfortunately we just have to stop that countdown right there, because we have Hindalco's numbers that have just that are just about coming out on your screen. So very quickly, let's address how the aluminium major has done. Of course, do remember, we do have to look at the standalone numbers for Hindalco. Not yet hit the exchanges, at least at this point of time. But if the number is 484 crore rupees, I would say it's definitely come in above expectations. Decent set if it is indeed 484 crore rupees. Do remember, it had been quite an eventful